is we'll ensure to always keep safety in our mind when putting a job out on the floor, right? So our team name is Pilot Peeps 5. Our theme is Kick It Out. The team members' names are Chris, Alex, Vince, Martha, Larry, Liz, Jimmy, and the advisors myself and Adam. I'm going to pass it over to Chris.
All right, good afternoon, Chris Hernandez. I'd like to start off with a little bit of the background. If I could turn your attention over here to this tracking sheet. So this tracking sheet is a tool we use in Pilot. What we're tracking here is any non-production part or body that's coming from body weld that we either got to kick out in the back or let it go through process. This is real important for us because it helps us to understand our impact to production. Okay, so background. So sometimes we get trial bodies, special order bodies, which don't require processing through the production line, and we have to kick them off in the back. So this is done to prevent production downtime and wasted motions. This process currently requires one pilot team member and a maintenance team member, a total approximately 2.5 hours of manpower to complete it. So some of the things that could happen if a unit gets by us and it goes through, it could end up being extra work for team members online, which is not necessary. It also could cause some downtime, and it could also, what it does is it also causes the pilot team to go back and retrieve that body and then reroute it all the way back to the service parts area where it came from. It's not a wasted time and wasted motions. So we did a theme selection matrix, and these are 3 of the items that we proposed. The one we went with was a way to kick out full bodies in service parts. Now, our activity development plan, so we got together as a team and saw what we needed to develop, and then we placed ourselves in those areas where they're going to report out today for our development. Okay, so step 1, clarify the problem. So our ultimate goal is to safely build the highest quality vehicle in the shortest lead time at the lowest cost while exceeding customers' satisfaction. So our current situation is it takes 2.5 man-hours per unit to kick a body out in the back. So our ideal situation is we want to spend 0 man-hours per unit, which leaves a gap of 2.5 man-hours per unit that it takes to kick a body out in the back. So this data was taken from January to February of this year. So step 2, breaking down the problem. So the 2.5 man-hours per unit, we want to break that down. We picked Tacoma because that's the highest hitter on our tracking sheet. So it takes 0 time for the deck and cab to get kicked out in the back. That gets kicked out automatically. But the full body is where we spend most of our time, and it takes 2.5 man-hours. So the flow, weld shop ships the body, unit enters the PTED system, then it goes into the oven, and it drops down from the oven. And here's the problem. Full body reads and goes to ED night storage, which then goes to the production line. So prioritize problem at point of occurrence. So 2.5 hours spent managing full body Tacoma and ED night storage because they don't kick out automatically. Now I'll go and pass it over to Alex.
Hello, my name is Alex Ramirez. It's time for step 3, setting a target. Eliminate man hours per unit from 2.5 to 0 by March 1st of 2019. Now here's Vince with step 4, analyzing the root cause.
Thanks, Alex. Good afternoon. I'm Vince Martinez. I'm going to be going over step 4, root cause analysis. As Chris mentioned before, it takes 2.5 man hours spent on each Tacoma unit because they do not kick out automatically. So we looked at the 4Ms and environment. We went with machine because the kick out lane sensor does not read the body. Why? Because there is no trigger for the sensor to kick the body out. Why? Because the full trial bodies do not have the extension that it needs to trigger the sensor to send it to the service parts area. So the root cause is the full body do not have the extension parts like the part pallets do to kick the body out to service parts. So coming over here to the CV, this is the actual trigger that sends the body either to process or to the service parts area. So when the full body comes in, it looks like this here. It doesn't trigger the sensor to send it to a service part. So just an example of what the service parts pallet looks like. It has this extension right here, and as it goes down, it'll trigger the sensor to send it to the service parts area. Next, we have Martha.
Thank you, Vince. Okay, so step 5, develop countermeasures. So we looked at 3 different options, and we ended up going with create a jig to kick out and service part. Seeing countermeasures. Okay, so our action plan using our PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. Starting with our plan, we made a jig. Now, with our jigs, as we trialed our jig and then we confirmed our jig, what we noticed is this is a jig, the original jig that we use, and as it went through, it kept on going. So we didn't succeed with this one. What we needed to do was, we didn't know that sensor needed more time to stay down to trigger it to send it off. So we put an extension on it, and with that extension, this is the way it looks now, and it was able to go. So you can see it on the cab itself. And now we'll go ahead and play the video. We'll rewind it. There we go. So it triggers it. And now it'll kick off. So we were able to do that. Good. There you go, Larry.
Okay, hello. My name is Larry Huron. I'm going to be doing step 7. We're going to do the monitor results and process. So Pilot had no issues installing this new jig. So our total process time was 10 minutes. So which we really didn't complete our target, but it did reduce our time from 2.5 hours to 10 minutes to install, which overall a good improvement of 93%. So we're really happy about that. So in our trial, we ran 8 units through service parts, and all of them were all kicked off automatically without calling maintenance, without having any downtime or full time. We had no abnormal work. We didn't have to reroute it. We had no waiting in night storage. And also we saved a total of $67.20 per trial for every man hour. And I'm going to give it to Liz for step 8.
Hi, I'm Liz Stavola. For standardized successful process, we were able to complete standardized work for the Tacoma. We drew up the WIS and then implemented it into our tie system, so it's out there for anybody else who needs to use it. And then we were also able to train all of the pilot team members on how to use this jig. So if you can see in the picture over here, we have Jimmy showing myself and Martha how to use the jig. And then here, Chris is explaining to Larry how to use it. And Jimmy will finish up.
Hello, my name is Jimmy. I'm going to go over the review and future plans. So based on the success of this trial for the Tacoma, the kickout jig, we're going to yoga tender over to the Tundra. For the Tundra, we have to create and confirm a new jig design because the Tundra is going to look completely different. And we're going to run some trials of that jig, and once successful with that jig, we're going to standardize the process. And for our QCC, before we were at a level of experience at Zone C. At the end of our trials, at the end of the QCC, we came up to a level of B for our level of experience. And for my reflection for this, we came together as a team to create this jig to kick off trucks automatically, and that helps us reduce the impact for production.
My personal reflection is really appreciate Kaizens like this that help save us so much time, make us more efficient. We went from 2.5 hours, 2 team members down to 1 team member, requiring only 10 minutes to accomplish that now.
My reflection was that we were able to use this sensor as well. You can also use light curtains and to make our job easier here in paint shop.
So a reflection of mine, by using the 5 whys, it also teaches you that if you say why 5 times, or even more than 5 times, you can actually get to the actual root cause of a very big problem.
My reflection is basically, especially at this time, we're working with 780. We've been very busy. So I just like to thank the whole team because although we were busy, just taking the time out to work on something together and fixing a problem.
My reflection is just every time I work on the quality circles, it just amazes me how our team worked together, how we can improve the whole paint shop and save money for everybody, and also different ideas. Just we're excited about that. Thank you.
My reflection is, as a new team member to pilot, I only spent most of my time in one area, getting to step out of that area and see how other areas can impact the shop as a whole, and being able to fix that.
And I'd like to thank you for coming out and hearing our report out. And this concludes our report out. Do we have any questions?
Good job, guys.